Naveed Raza here for thefinalpoint.com here with UFC fighter Jon Fitch. Jon, you're coming off a pretty grueling fight with Mike Pierce. He won the decision. Can you talk a little bit about that fight, and were you pleased with the performance?
At first I was a little harder on myself than I am now after watching it a few times. I really didn't get hit to the last 30 seconds of the fight. I think my combinations was coming off a lot crisper than before. So some good knees, still a lot of room for improvement, but overall it was a good fight, and I'm happy with my performance.
What's really next for you as far as, I know you said you were kind of disappointed in your last fight, I know you love finishing guys, and that's something you kind of did early on in your career. The last 3 fights you've went to decision. Is there one thing you can kind of key in on now that you've had a chance to reflect on what you can do differently to kind of finish some guys earlier?
It's just guys are getting tougher and tougher all the time, and I've changed some things in my game and doing some new things, and it's just a matter of time and getting my timing right and being comfortable in those new areas.
Mm-hmm. And it's something we've seen so far with other fighters like Rashad Evans, who kind of started out as a wrestler primarily and then turned into a striker and kind of shied away from the wrestling part of his MMA careers. Is that something you have trouble with, is going back and forth and balancing the two between striking and wrestling?
No, it's just, you've been wrestling for so long, and it comes natural. With the stand-up, it takes a little more practice, and there's no better practice than actually doing it in a fight. So, having to put yourself in a situation where you use it is a little bit different, yeah.
And I asked Swick this earlier, but we're talking about fighters within camps. AKs are one of the strongest camps in MMA, kind of similar with Albuquerque and Greg Jackson's camp and the guys not fighting each other. Have you faced any pressure from the UFC as an organization to try to get you guys to maybe face off against one another?
No pressure. It's not something that's any consideration for any of us, so it's not anything to worry about.
Have you heard anything about maybe your future opponents? There's a rumor online saying that you might be facing Thiago Alves in a couple months. Have you heard anything, or anything unofficial?
That was originally supposed to be my last. My last fight was supposed to be the replacement for Almeida, but from my understanding is that he was already been found another fight. It'd be a great fight. I'd be down for it. I'm hoping I just find something soon. I don't like a lot of downtime, and kind of stuck in limbo right now.
You got a chance to peek at NFL Hall of Famer Herschell Walker, who's training at AK now. What do you think of his skills so far? I saw you giving him some pointers here on the bags. Can you talk a little bit about him joining this camp?
Yeah, Herschel's an outstanding athlete, and he's just like a sponge. He's eager to learn whatever you have to teach him, and he'll sit there and work on it until he gets it. So, even though he's starting at 47, I still think he's got a chance at doing some decent things for himself in this fight game.
And for thefinalpoint.com, Naveed Raza, Jon Fitch, thanks for taking the time out to join us.
No worries. Thanks for having me.